Folks, welcome back in to Just Ask Freeman. Now, we are talking about the 7 financial blind spots and ways to overcome them. We're on section 2 now about government programs and company pensions and how you shouldn't just depend on them for retirement. Freeman, welcome back in.
Oh, well, thank you very much for having me come back in this segment. Coach Pete, this is what I've noticed. Back in 1980, 81, 89% of the companies in the United States offered a pension. By 2011, only 7% of all companies in America offered a pension. Now, today it's approximately 2%.
Wow.
Okay. So you really can't depend on a pension per se. You've got to bring in your own resources. We have to consider Social Security. All right, let's look at that.
Yep. That's a government program.
Exactly.
Right? Yep.
We can maximize Social Security. We have to also look at Medicare, the cost. That is increasing. But the thing is, since 1975, with the advent of the IRA, all righty, what I've seen is that since pensions started to sort of go away or diminish, a lot of consumers or those who are preparing for retirement, what is happening in them? They were thrust into employer-sponsored retirement accounts.
Right.
No training, just out there. So government programs work to some degree, but we can't necessarily depend on those government programs.
When we talk about company-sponsored retirement plans, give an example to the folks out there what
Let's
that
say,
is.
for example, the thrift savings plan is one. Or we refer to these qualified plans or pre-tax monies as TSPs, 401ks, 403bs if you're an educator. All these are pre-tax retirement plans, but we have no training in those areas. So that's where you need the help.
And the burden of saving falls on the employee, not the employer.
Exactly.
Because the company pensions, the company will basically say, you work for us 30 or 40 years, we'll give you a check for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Now the 401k says, you work for us and you put money in on your own, and hopefully you'll have enough when you retire. That doesn't sound as good, does it?
It doesn't sound as good, and all the risk is on you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what we do is, in our firm, is bring folks together when we sit down and talk to them and give them a real good, solid education on how money works, have them, they're fully aware that and a lot of companies, as I mentioned earlier, the outset of this conversation, they don't offer any pension. So we give them the guidance. What we help them do is, the fear is, will I have enough money? Will I run out of money during my retirement? Well, and folks, what we do too is help so many of you, folks like yourself, who don't have pensions, come up with ways such that, with strategies, Coach, to avoid costly mistakes during a retirement run.
Well, even if someone out there has a company-sponsored plan, 401k or a pension or something like that, isn't it advantageous for them to save a little bit or as much as they can on their own in their own individual account instead of a group account?
Exactly.
They have a lot more protection, and it's their money. No one's going to take it away.
That's right.
If they do it if they save in the right place, obviously.
You know, Coach, what we try to do is to segment the various, I call them buckets of monies. It should have a good, solid emergency fund. In the event of some unexpected event, they don't have to go into their employer-sponsored retirement accounts, borrow money, or come up with some type of, they're penalized heavily or taxed on the distribution. A good emergency fund, make sure that they continue savings, and try to fully fund, if they can, their employer-sponsored retirement account. And then after a while, when they get ready to separate from service, they can roll those funds into an individual IRA and have more control. And then, of course, there may be more choices for them when it comes to having their own individual retirement account.
Well, it's never too early, and you can never save enough. And you need to have diversification in place. Very important, folks. JustAskFreeman.com is where you can go for more information. When we come back with the next section, we're going to talk about how inflation and how it could hurt you if you're not planning for it. Again, we're on the 7 financial blind spots. We'll be back with number 3 shortly.